Hi. The idea of doing Founders That Fail with Skylar came to basically to our minds for several reasons. First of all, because it's a really interesting space. It's a big space. Second of all, because New York is trying to get ground on the healthcare IT. And third, because we at Life Sciences Angel seeing a lot of companies in healthcare IT space, and it has been fundamental observation that companies in healthcare IT are not as easy to create or to develop as it seems to be. And so with all that in mind, I approached Skylar, who I've adored for a long time, for this particular, for Founders That Fail concept, where entrepreneurs can learn about things and hear insights that otherwise they wouldn't be able to learn. And we decided to do it in healthcare IT. And so there's no better speaker, believe me, than Jay Silverstein, who's going to tell you ins and outs, the anatomy and physiology of the healthcare and how you do startups, because Jay has seen a lot, basically, from successes and failures. And what I would say, without further ado, I'll just give you a chance to introduce yourself. And I apologize for my coarse voice. I've heard I sound like Ellen Barkin. It's not bad, given that a couple days ago I was without it. So.
We've already gone somewhere. Did you take any meds?
I'm not contagious.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
I was just wondering if anybody pre-authorized. Let's start with the chief imagineer. That's a role. I was one of the co-founders of a company called Oxford Health Plans back in 1984, 1985. And we were kind of the merry pranksters of the healthcare space. The reason I created that title for myself was that it was the #2 parking space. And if you were at Disney, the #2 parking space next to Walt's was the chief imagineer. So when Steve Wiggins looked up and said, well, I'm the CEO, I said, okay, I'm either assistant to the Grand Poobah or I'm the chief imagineer. So we chose chief imagineer. But I did have a business card that also said assistant to the Grand Poobah, which I would hand out with regularity. Mine is an adventure where I've been in the healthcare space for nearly 30 years and have always been looked at as an outsider. My role within every organization is referred to as kind of the Bobby Kennedy role. Some people look at the world as it is and ask why. I look at the world as it could be and ask why not. So I'm the guy who stands in front of 22,000 employees of United Health Group and challenges them on the idea that one time I stood in front of them and I said, I was just at a sushi restaurant in Minneapolis, and it was fascinating to me that sushi came from Tokyo to Memphis and Memphis to Minneapolis and was served fresh within 24 hours. And as a consumer, that seems far more complex than processing a claim. And so we better damn well figure out how to do it in less than 24 hours. So my job is basically to bring the consumer's viewpoint and to challenge every operation, every process, everything that an organization does, and put it in consumer language that's relevant to the people who pick up the phone every day. Because from my perspective, if you're dealing with health plans as an example, the entire complexity of the healthcare industry sits on the forehead of the lowest paid employee. The $22,000 a year customer service agent is the one picking up the phone trying to interpret what's going on in the healthcare system. Now, we're all guilty. We are all at fault, okay? Because none of us want to buy one health plan. We have a government that says, well, we should all have what the FEHBP has. No, they have one health plan. I once did the math. If United Health Group decided that they were going to offer just that one plan, admin costs would be 1.5%, not 8, 1.5. But none of you would buy it. None of your employers would turn, because every employer wants to negotiate something different. At one time, when I was at United, I discovered that there were 92,000 different benefit designs. So I created a plan to get it down to 3. And in the state, and in Colorado, we got it down to 3. And interesting, when we got it down to 3, employers perceived there was more choice versus less. Because We gave them one from column A, one from column B, one from column C. We gave them a menu choice, and we said, choose from this. And it was actually an easier way for them to understand versus the variation that was in their mind that they could create at any time. Right? And so we're all guilty of it, but yet we don't understand the implications of what we demand or what we ask for. Two of my college roommates are Canadian, and I apologize for any Canadian in the room, but that's their joke, that how do you get 22 Canadians out of a pool? Just ask. Okay, okay, okay. Imagine doing that in New York. Who the F are you? Shut the F up. Let's sit here in the pool. Wait, see how long it takes before they get us out of the pool. That's for that guy, not for me. So we as Americans are very, very demanding. We expect something that's unique and customized in a world that shouldn't be unique and customized. We have a medical system that can't and should never accept evidence just purely as the way to do anything, because that's last year. If evidence was the only thing that mattered, then Harvard Medical School might as well shut down. We might as well shut down innovation because evidence already says do it this way. And so it's a challenge to us to continually build, and my job is to bring all of that together and figure out how to create processes or systems or procedures or ideas that really challenge the way we currently think, that enable the consumer to operate the way the